I think it's visible. Today we will focus on other aspects like levels of management, levels of management, and we classify this management in top level, middle level, first line, and non-managers. Now, this top level management is responsible for providing the overall direction of an organization. It develops goals and strategies for the entire organization. I think the course of time we will be discussing about what is vision, mission, goals, strategies. These things we'll discuss of some time. They develop goals and strategies for the entire organization. They spend most of their time planning and leading. They communicate with the key stakeholders. Yesterday, I was trying to clarify the concepts of stakeholders and shareholders. Um, Here, we are giving those little details like they communicate with the key stakeholders like stockholders, unions, governmental agencies regarding company policies. Then, the, the use of multicultural strategic action competencies to lead firm is crucial. That means at this level, you need to have the competencies regarding different kind. I can tell you multicultural, international culture that is required. That kind of competency, how to work with those people. Then a little focus will be on first line managers. They have direct responsibility for producing goods and services. Different nomenclature is there. They are called foremen, supervisors, and clerical supervisors. And then we have middle level managers. What they do, they try to coordinate employee activities and they decide which goods or services to be provided. They decide how to market goods or services to customers. And the names are given like assistant managers, section heads, like that. Then the top managers, since they provide you overall direction, and they are given different kinds of names like CEO, president, vice president, and like. Then first line managers, they are directly responsible for production of goods and services. Then uh, employees, they report to first line managers to do the work, organization's work. Then they spend little time with top managers in large organizations. Then technical expertise is very, very important for this first line managers. Unless they have this technical expertise, I think they cannot command much respect from people who are working under them. We need to have more of technical skills. Then they rely on planning and administration, self management, teamwork, and communication. And all these competencies are required in order to get things done through others. Then we talk about a little talk about middle level managers. And these middle level managers, they are responsible for setting objectives that are consistent with top management goals. And they have to translate them into specific goals and plans for the first line managers to implement because um, the first line managers, they need more clarity. And these middle level managers, they are responsible for coordinating activities of first line managers. And these people, they establish target dates for products and services to be delivered. And they need to coordinate with others for resources. And they need to have ability to develop others is very important. And they rely on communication, teamwork. In other words, because they have to get things done, they need to have the competencies that are related to communication, teamwork, planning, and administration. I think the other day I was discussing about these competencies. And before we wind up quickly, we go through those things also. Then we shall discuss the skills of management that are required. Now, the skills of management, we try to put them into normally three categories. You can take four also, no problem. Technical skills, human skills, and conceptual skills. Now, the levels of management, we try to put them into, again, of course, three or four, it doesn't matter. Okay. So you have a supervisory or operation level management, middle level management, and top management. Till now, we were discussing about the levels of management. Now, our focus is on the skills required, or I'll put it, the competencies required by these managers. When you are at, I can tell you, a first level, you need to have technical skills or you need to possess technical competencies, and also you need to have more of human skills, and you need a little bit of conceptual skills. Conceptual skills talks about the entire picture, about the organization, who is who, what is what, and all these things. As you move from first level or first line manager to the middle level managers, you need to have, you can see here very clearly, you need to have more of human skills compared to technical skills and conceptual skills. But as you go up in the organizational ladder, when you reach the top management, I think you need to have more of conceptual skills and human skills and a little bit of technical skills. For example, in the university system, let's say the top position is vice chancellor and registrar. They are at the top level, and they'll be from, maybe some people they are from science department, some people are from commerce department, and they will be hold not necessarily only from these departments, but they may be from some department. So they need to know more about university systems, more about, I can tell you, what are the different departments. They should have a bird's eye view. And they need to have more of communication, human skills also. The reason is they have to deal with so many people. And they need not have, they need not be proficient in every subject, try to understand. In the same way, even in the organization, it is like that. As you move up in the organization ladder, you may be from sales department. It doesn't mean you should have a thorough knowledge about technical aspects of operations and other things. Operation in the sense, the technical aspects I'm talking about. So, what we are trying to convey is, as you move up in the organization ladder, the competencies that we need to possess, they will be undergoing change. And as you go up in the organization ladder, you need to possess more of conceptual and human skills. And as you come down, you need to have more of technical skills and human skills. But one thing is certain, you can clearly observe from this one that human skills, they play a vital role. See, because at every level, you need to have good amount of human skill. Then only you can thrive in the midst of chaos and confusions in the organization. So human skills are essential. I think keeping that in mind, our university has designed this particular course. I think yours happens to be human resource management course. Is it so? Is it a diploma in human resource management or diploma? See, one more thing. Whatever be the course, I think these human skills are required. Okay, these are the things we need to understand. This one is very important. Several times they ask these things in the examination. Now, again, we'll go back. I think it is like recap, but I won't take much of your time. But what I'm yeah, I think we have started with these things, competencies and managerial competencies. Then we were talking about the competencies that are required if you want to become a great manager. It's not enough that you are a good manager. Of course, the words that I'm using, they have a lot of significance. You may be a good manager, you may not be a great manager. You need to become a great manager. There's a lot of difference between these two things we'll be discussing, I think, in future when I talk about leadership and other things. So, if you want to become a great manager, you need to have communication competency, planning and administration competency, teamwork competency, strategic action competency, multicultural competency, and self management competency. I was discussing about these competencies. You should have communication competency. I said that is ability. To effectively transferring and exchanging information. It consists of both formal and informal communication. We need to understand that you need to be formal and also informal. Many times people either they want to be too informal or too formal. Try to understand. You need to be both. Then these communications are required at negotiations, and they are very, very important. So negotiations, do not think only in political area or international level. At every level, negotiations are required. If you want to be a successful person in negotiations, I think you should have these communication competencies. Then you need to have, the other day we're discussing about, should be able to plan, you should be able to administer, you should be able to decide before things they happen, you should be able to allocate resources. Even during allocation of resources, a lot of negotiations that take place, and then, if you want to plan, you have to gather, you have to analyze. That means decision making is not that easy. You have to gather information. The other day, I was talking to you about VUCA environment and all those things. So please remember those things. See, whatever I'm telling important, they are really important. Sometimes suddenly, don't be surprised if they appear in the examination, and it doesn't mean at the same time I'm telling whatever that is going to come in the exam paper, but important things that we discuss. Then planning and organizing projects with agreed upon completion date, and you should have a competency regarding time management, your ability to manage time. Again, when we talk about time management, again, a lot of things that we need to discuss about. I think after some time in the future, I'll be discussing about time management. We talk about clock versus compass. Okay, clock versus compass when we talk about time management. We shall be discussing about those things. And one more thing, please, if time permits, kindly go through that book, Seven Habits of Highly Effective People. Kindly go through that book. If you think that book is too bulky, kindly take a review on that one. Read, because you are entering, some of you are already managing the organization. Some of you are already working in corporate sector. I think they will be of much help to you. So please go through them. They will help you. Then budgeting and financial management. Normally, we think budgeting means it's related to only money, but what I feel, when something is scarce, when something is not in plenty, then you have to budget. It might be related to it might be related to time, it might be related to money, it might be related to resources. You have to budget, and you should know how to manage your money also. Then the other day I was sharing with you, you need to have competency to work with people. You may be an excellent person, you may work alone, but working with people is something very important because together we can achieve a lot of things. Therefore, working with people, we have to learn, I think, as I told you, you should know how to play on the strengths of people. Okay. Um, then strategic action competency, you need to understand mission and values of the organization and ensure that employees' actions match with them. I'll be discussing about vision, mission, and all these things. They are wonderful terms. I think they'll be of much help to us, not only in the corporate life, but also in our personal life. Understanding how departments or divisions of the organizations are interrelated, because um, these understanding these interrelationships is very important. There is a saying, if you put garbage in, what you get is garbage out. So if you want to achieve excellence, that excellence should be from the beginning, because every department is interconnected, and we need to take key strategic action to position the firm for success, especially in relation to concern of stakeholders, and leapfrogging a competitor. These things I'll be discussing. Now, then the competency that we talk about, multicultural competency, we should be able to work in different cultural environment. For that matter, you just think about Hyderabad. Hyderabad has got different kind of cultures. I can tell you, and you should be in a position to understand, appreciate, and respond to diverse political, cultural, economic issues across and within nations. Then cultural knowledge, understanding of the events in at least a few other cultures. I think, if I'm not wrong, there is a movie, um, outsourcing. I think a little you can watch, and you will come to know a lot of things in that one regarding multicultural competency, intercultural communication, and all these things you will come to know. I think the title of the movie, if I'm correct, it is outsourcing. Then cultural openness and cultural sensitivity to how others they think and act and feel. Oh my God. See, you should be open, but to what extent you should be open? So you have to be aware, you should be have the sensitivity to others' culture, and this one is very important. And respectful of social etiquette variations. We need to learn this kind of competence is required. Nowadays, I think most of the people they are going to different countries, our younger generation, and for that matter, you know very well from every family. I think you find someone in USA. I think nowadays, so how to live in USA, and for that matter, they go to USA, Australia, different countries. They go, and at the time, you should understand the social etiquettes and all these things. Accepting of language difference, and within our country, same word in different language, it communicates different kinds of meaning. Therefore, we have to be very, very careful while using the language. Sometimes some of the words that we are using, no, they will hurt because the other people, they do not know the meaning. They think that we are abusing them. So we need to possess this kind of multicultural competency. Besides all these things, you know how to develop ourselves, the self-management competency. We need to develop ourselves. We need to have integrity and ethical conduct. These things are very important nowadays. And today, people, they are picked up for higher level of positions based on their integrity, based on their ethical conduct. I think you may not think they are very important, but when people, they want to give you resources into your hand, one thing I tell you, resources are there in many places. They are seeking a person who can handle these resources with integrity and ethical conduct. I think these things have to be developed over a period of time. You have to build your character. You have to build that integrity. Integrity happens very, very simple thing. When no one is watching you, listen, when no one is watching you, how you behave, it matters. When people, they are watching and they are doing, we behave very well. If we are left alone when no one is watching, the way we behave, it matters a lot. So today, what is required is integrity, ethical conduct. Then people, they are seeking um, uh, employees. That means while recruiting people into their organization, they want the people with the personal drive and resilience. Resilience is called a bouncing back. How quickly you get up to fall is certain, but when you fall, how quickly you get up, it matters. Today, this is one of the qualities people, they are seeking whenever they want to recruit people into their organization. Then balancing work life issues. This is very important because there are some people, what they do, they think about work and work and work, and ultimately they lose the important aspects, important part of their life. Recently, I was reading about so many people, they had to pay a huge price in order to become successful. But in other words, they paid their personal life as the price in order to become successful. I think therefore we should learn how to balance work and personal life. Then we have to be aware about ourselves. As I told you the other day, kindly go through again, I'm requesting you, managing oneself, that article, kindly go through them. That will be helpful to you, and how you have to develop yourself. All these things we will come to know. Okay. Then this one also I'll take out. Now, all these things we need to discuss. Oh, I gave you overview of management, then managing environment, then planning and control, that is there in your syllabus, organizing is there, leading. I think one of the things normally people, they ask you, how do you differentiate between American organizations and Japanese organizations? At this juncture, I would like to introduce you to one of the concepts that is called, please, listen carefully, one of the concept called Theory Z. William Auchi, the writer, he introduced this concept. I think one of the aspects that you have in your syllabus is the different how American organizations they function, how Japanese organizations function, and based on these things, William Auchi has brought out a concept that is called Theory Z. Of course, some of you might be thinking, why this fellow is introducing this concept here? Okay, I do not know how much time I'm going to get to discuss. There are so many things we need to discuss. Therefore, but I wanted to introduce some of these things right now. Um, the organization type of American organization, Japanese organization, the things that are there in theory is that American organization, people say the employment is short-term employment. In the case of Japanese organization, it is a lifetime employment. Now, in American organization, mostly people they get into this hire and fire system. Uh, Subject to correction, whatever I'm talking, I'm speaking based on what I read in some books. In the case of Japanese organization, saying whenever an employee is recruited, what they do, they take an oath. That oath is both employees and also the organization. Employees take that oath. I read this one that they will protect the organization, and organizations also they take an oath that they will protect this employee. I think the other things they start from this one only, the differences. Now, in many times, what happens in American organization when there is a downturn, when there's a recession, I think when organization they are not making good profits, quickly what that they fire people, they remove people over a cup of tea. That's what I came to know. But in Japanese organization, listen, this is what they do. Starting from top man to the person who is at lower level, they forego a part of their salary and they try to protect the organization. Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Don't you think it's something is very, very important? From top man, I'm not talking from a person at a lower level to top. I'm talking from top to bottom, from top man to the person who is at lower level. They forego a part of their salary and they try to protect the organization. And I know in other places what happens. When the organization is not doing well, they want to throw away people who are at the lower level. But it's not like that. So this is the important quality of the organization. I think I shared with you. They take that oath to protect the organization. So it starts from that one. And based on these things, William Auchi what said, it is better to have a long-term employment. Okay. Then the next thing that we are talking in American organization, that individual decision making plays a vital role. And still, if I have to talk, there is a subject called corporate governance. In the case of corporate governance, in Anglo-Saxon model, they talk about shareholders, they give lot of importance to shareholders. But in the case of Japanese organization, shareholders, if I am not wrong, they are not given the first place. Employee gets a prominent place in their decision making process, in the board decision making process. Employees they get a prominent place. So in American organization, individual decision making plays a vital role, whereas in Japanese organization, the decision making happens to be a collective decision making. And when we go to theory Z, what William Auchi says, it is better to get into a collective decision making. Then again, responsibility, if you take in American organization, the responsibility happens to be individual responsibility, and in Japanese organization responsibility happens to be a collective responsibility. And what William Auchi advocates in his theory is that he says better to have individual responsibility. He might be thinking sometimes when we have collective responsibility, some people they may misuse. That's all. But individual responsibility. Then we talk about evaluation and promotion. If we talk about evaluation and promotion, in American organization, as I told you, from day one, they expect you to perform. The evaluation is rapid and there will be promotion. But in the case of Japanese organization, the evaluation is slow in the sense when they give you responsibility, they want to give you enough of time and they want you to excel, then promotions will be there. but sorry. Theory Z, William Auchi advocates slow evaluations and promotions. Then again, if we get into the control systems of American organizations, the controls are explicit because you have got explicit control mechanisms are there in American organization, whereas in Japanese organizations, you are having implicit control mechanism. Okay, there are a lot of checks and balances will be there within the organization implicit, and in theory Z, what he advocates implicit, informal, and also explicit formal measures. I think I was sharing with you. You need to be both formal and informal. This is the word I have used maybe 10 or 15 minutes back in communication. There are some people who either they want to be only formal or only informal. I think if you want to thrive or if you want to excel, if you want to generate greater productivity in the organization, you need to have both formal and also informal. Therefore, William Auchi advocated those things. Then in American organization, people that have specialized career path. So if you choose a particular line, you have to go into in that particular line only. But in Japanese organization, it is a non-specialized career path. If you have specialization, there are advantages and also there are disadvantages. So therefore, these people, they want to have non-specialized career path, and William Auchi advocates that you need to have moderately specialized career path. Then the concern for employees in Japanese organization is segment. They're concerned about you regarding employment, your life in the organization. So a segmented concern for employee as an employee. Whereas in Japanese organization, they care, they share, their concern for you is a holistic concern. Therefore, here in William Auchi is advocating under theory Z, your concern should be holistic, including family. These are the things William Auchi has advocated. Now, when they ask you in the examination, how do you differentiate American management and Japanese management? I think some of these things you can write. And when they ask you about theory Z, I think you show these differences and you write about theory Z given by William Auchi. I think this is so far as this one is concerned. Okay, now 1 minute. The next thing that I'd like to share with you, I think Henry Fayol's 14 principles of management, we consider them very important. Quickly, we will go through people. Uh, I think maximum I want to focus maximum 3 or 4 sessions only I'll take for management. Then there'll be a lot of important things are there.
ఏంటి బేటా కడుక్కున్నావా సరే సరే
Okay, Henry Fayol's 14 principles of management, they are very important, and quickly we will go through those things. It's visible now?
Yes, sir.
Right, thank you. Now, the 14 principles of management, we talk about division of work is the first thing. If you do, I think we are taught in economics also, once you divide the work, our productivity will go up. Specialization allows the individual to build up experience and to continuously improve our skills. Thereby, we can be more productive. And not only that, when you have this division of work, when you have more of specialization, lot of innovations also they come, new way of doing things also they develop over a period of time, because you have crossed that learning curve, lot of things you'll be learning. Okay, so the first principle that he advocated, it is about division of work. The second thing is authority. Authority happens to be the right to issue commands along with which must be go the balanced responsibility. It's called parity of authority and responsibility. Um, Many times people they have a little aversion to authority. You agree with me? People they have little aversions to authority. But one thing I would like to share with you, what our professor they talks long back. Always remember, if you break authority, if you break authority, there'll be chaos in the organization. If you break authority, there will be chaos in the organization. So authority must be respected. Authority must be respected. A very important, it's a very, very important thing. People, they want to break the authority. Once you break a lot of, say, this applies, I think, in the case of families, and also in the case of organization, and also in the case of country. So we have to respect the authority. Then a person who is given authority, and he should also be made responsible. And we have to balance both authority, responsibility, accountable. These things should be there. When you have authority and no responsibility, there will be anarchy. And there are some places no authority, but only responsibility. There will be slavery. You think I know for some organizations, people. I think in some of the offices, people they make you responsible for so many things, but you are not given authority on any of those things. So I think those who are working in organizations will come to know several times we are made responsible for so many things without any authority. So I think that is not a good thing, right? Or the slavery. Then discipline. Employees must obey, but this is two-sided. Employees will only obey orders if management play their part by providing good leadership. Discipline is required. Without discipline, you cannot achieve anything. I think you have to tell me. Somebody, you, I think D, which letter in alphabets? D. D happens to be fourth letter. Am I correct? Letter D.
Yes, sir. Fourth row.
Now, likewise, somebody counted. They have somebody assigned number to these letters. Whatever I'm talking to subject correction, you count and tell me. Not now. Afterwards, if D is 4, I comes to
Ninth.
likewise. What you are going to do, you count all those things. Then what is the number that you are going to get? Somebody said, without discipline, you cannot achieve anything. And discipline happens when people obey, and people they obey only when you have a good leadership. Then each worker should have only one boss with no other conflicting lines of command. This is called unity of command. Very, very important principles. Tomorrow means sometime when I discuss about the structures of organization. So this is one of the important principles. If you violate this principle, there will be conflicts. When there's a conflict, people they cannot do. This is what we teach. But as you move forward and with the advent of internet technology and with the advent of this project management and all these things, we have started violating this particular principle, unity of command. Then they talk about unity of direction, and here people engage in the same kind of activities must have the same objectives in a single plan. This is essential to ensure unity and coordination in the enterprise. Unity of command does not exist without unity of direction, but does not necessarily flow from it. Therefore, you need to have unity of direction. Then subordination of individual interests to organizational interest. Management must see that the goals of the firm are always paramount. Then I'll be discussing quite one or two points. Then remuneration. Payment is an important motivator, although by analyzing a number of possibilities, Fire points out that there is no such thing as a perfect system. So remuneration should be fair that we pay to people. Then centralization and decentralization. If important decisions and decisions are going to affect um, the organization in the long run, if they are taken at a higher level, that is called centralization. If such decisions are taken even at lower level, we call it as a decentralization. Then scalar chain talks about authority should flow from top to bottom without any interruption. It's called line of authority. A hierarchy is necessary for the unity of direction, but lateral communication is also fundamental as long as superiors know that such communication is taking place. Scalar chain refers to the number of levels in the hierarchy from the ultimate authority to the lowest level in the organization. It should not be overstretched and consist of too many levels. Therefore, what we tell, authority should flow from top to bottom without any interruption. This is essential. Then we talk about order. Both material and social order are necessary. The former minimizes lost time and uses of handling of material. The latter is achieved through organization and selecting. So there should be order in the organization regarding people, regarding material. If there is no order, I think there will not be much progress. But don't you think several times because things are not in order, most of our life is wasted in searching for things. You want to get a paper, an important document, you are not in a position to get because things are not in order. So order is required. Order is required. Then equity. When you run a business, it's a combination of kind and justice. Therefore, you have to treat employees well. It is very important in order to achieve equity. Then, then we talk about stability of tenure. Employees work better if job security and career progress are assured. An insecure tenure and a high rate of employee turnover, it will affect the organization adversely. Then we should allow initiative, and then people they show, I think, enthusiasm. But several times, in many places, you are not allowed to show initiative, and with that, our innovations they are brought to a lower level. And the last thing that we talk about, esprit de corps, that means in unity there's strength. If you are united, we stand; divided, we fall. These are the principles. Of course, we will discuss these things in the theories of management thought, and all those things. But these 14 principles are required for it is required for us to know. Now, when we talk about these principles of management, a question comes, sir. You have told or you have narrated 14 principles. Sir, are they really principles? That's the question you are going to get. I spoke about Henry File, a management expert. I think based on his experiences, he has written some 14 things based on his experience. Some of these things are like statements. Some of these things are statements. Some of these things, I think, what is it? He's talking about centralization, decentralization. Spirit decron. See, some of these things they are like statements. Some of the things are they relevant in the present day context? That is also another question. I was sharing with you unity of command. Unity of command. It looks very good. It is essential. But I think days are changing, things are undergoing a lot of change. I think you will be getting your instruction from not from one boss, you'll be getting more than one boss. And you get a feeling. Are we not violating unity of command principle? Yes, we are violating unity of command principles. Now, this application of Henry Ford's principle, I think change an organization at that time you can apply, decision making we can apply. When we talk about skills of management, at that time also we can apply. And these five principles, they help us to understand the management in a variety of ways. I think I'll be discussing about these things. What is that? Now, many times people they ask about objectives. Objectives. Peter Drucker has given objectives of the organization in 8 areas. He spoke the first area we need to have objectives is in the area of marketing. The business of a business is to create customer. In order for a business to create a customer, there needs to be objectives in the area of marketing. Then the second objective Peter Drucker talks about is you need to have objectives regarding innovation. New ideas are required by a business in order to create a demand for a product. Then we need to have objectives regarding human organization. We need to have objectives regarding financial resources. We need to have objectives regarding physical resources also. Then we need to establish objectives of the organization regarding productivity. We need to establish objectives regarding social responsibility.
Raj Kishan, please mute your mic.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Sometimes by mistake this happens. Okay, you get lot of resources from uh, society. Therefore, we have an obligation. We have an obligation um, towards society. Today, people they talk about ESG, that is very important, and people they talk about ESG reports and all these things. Companies they need to submit. So, in those days, they used to talk about social responsibility. Now, why we establish rules and regulations? Remember, when people they do not discharge their responsibilities properly, government comes into picture. It brings lot of regulations. Then he talks about at another object with profit requirement. Profit requirement. Profit is essential for a business to succeed. One of the things I would like to share with you is many times people they consider that profit is a dirty word. No, profit is not a dirty word because if we want to survive in the business, there should be some margin. Okay, therefore, unless you have that margin, you should not be greedy, but you have to get profit. So profit is essential. And remember, Peter Drucker is talking about profit, not in the beginning. I think as it comes down, I think he is talking about this profit and all those things. Same. The other day I was sharing with you, if you treat your employees very well, in turn they will serve your customers very well, and automatically you will be getting profits in the organizations. We need to have profits in the organization and they'll be helpful to us. Okay, here I'll stop. I think it is uh, 51. Yesterday, suddenly it was stopped. I think once it is 7 o'clock, automatically it goes out. Can
Yes,
someone?
sir.
Yesterday I was going on giving lecture. I think from my side connection is gone. Then I have realized because I'm exceeding the time. I think they have disconnect. That means you might have gone to the next class. Am I correct?
So it's a time frame limit actually.
Yeah, time frame, prime. Okay, therefore, what I do instead of starting a new thing, I'll stop at this juncture because tomorrow now it is 9 minutes more. Uh, so what I that is the reason. Take it up tomorrow. Tomorrow I can take up management by objectives and other things. I'll discuss tomorrow. Thank you so much. Is it okay? Or I don't mind taking up the other topics also. Oh my God. Acha, this is somebody's. I thought something is there. Okay, thank you so much then. Huh?
Okay, sir.
Right,
Okay,
right.
thank you, sir.
Because I have a
Thank you,
lot of
sir.
material. I have a lot of material
Yes,
because
sir.
just see the moment I start, they will disconnect.
Okay.
Uh,
All right. Thank you.
yeah, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
And one more thing, listen carefully.
Yes, sir.
I do not know. I was asking Anjali ma'am whether you have any WhatsApp group or like that. So if I send some material, how are you going to share?
Yes,
Sir
sir. We have
Radhakrishna,
WhatsApp.
sir.
You have WhatsApp group?
Yes, sir.
Acha, you do one thing. You need not give me your group number. What I'll do, I'm going to type my email ID.
Yes, sir.
Krishna Kumar, KRISHNAKUMAR 1960 @gmail.com. Very simple. KRISHNAKUMAR 1960 @gmail.com. Okay, you can you can okay, right. You can one of you can write to me. I'll send
Okay.
whatever material that I have, and that you can share with your friends. So you know
Okay, sir.
very well we have just 10 hours. The
Sir,
within 10 hours I need to discuss so many things, and
sir, this
uh,
is Bharat. Sir,
yeah, okay,
uh,
okay, thank you.
sir,
Please tell me,
actually,
Bharat. Please
yeah,
tell
sir,
me.
actually, we don't have access to the group. Only Dr. Radhakrishna sir only have the access to send our text.
Right, right
So,
now. Acha,
yeah,
acha,
so we can send to Radhakrishna sir and we will ask him to send in group.
Okay, no problem. Okay,
Yeah.
no problem. Absolutely no problem. Okay. No, I see. The thing is how my material can reach is the only thing. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Very simple. Radhakrishna's number I'm having, I'll send it to him. Hmm? Thank you.
Okay, sir. Thank you,
Right.
sir.
Take care.
Okay, sir, thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, sir.
I think Gopi is unable to listen. What's the problem? Others are able to listen.
Yes, sir. Everyone.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Why
sir, we are
Go-
able.
Gopi has typed is unable to listen. Okay, now. Right. Thank you, ma. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you.
Thank you so much.
हाँ जी